Thank you so much. You've been so far the most wonderful hosts ever, where I've been to every OGAE party. I respectfully, this is very much similar to Serbians. You're like open arms, let's do something, let's eat, let's drink. So I feel like home, so thank you. Yes, this is the first time in Spain, in Madrid especially. So I'm in between rehearsals and interviews. I'm walking and trying to breathe in as much as Madrid as I possibly can. Well, that was the idea of the composer, Vladimir Grajic. He wanted to present his songs because he composed Molitva, for those who do not know. And he decided on the three singers and three totally different songs for Europe that he thought that would be good for Eurovision. So one of his songs, which I performed, won, and that's how I ended up in Eurovision. He actually, the negotiations and him talking me over to go to Eurovision lasted for a few years. I was like, no, no, no. But then he was like, no, you would be really good there. So I went, and I was number 10. At one point in the finals, my team went and said, please don't win. I was like, no, I'm not gonna, but no. The rumor is that you are going to be in the final 4 or 5. Please don't win. Serbia is not ready for Eurovision right now. I was like, no, but stop pressuring me. I need to perform. No. So actually, I knew that we are going to be one of the most seen acts on Eurovision, but I already knew who the winner was going to be. We all knew in 2015. Let's not lie to one another, we always know. But the cheering is quite interesting. So, no, I knew we are not going to be number 1, but I hoped a little bit, yes. Someday, maybe. Still have time to win Eurovision. Well, the first version of lyrics, any lyrics, Serbian English, were written in English. Charlie Mason, he was the co-writer for The Rise Like a Phoenix, and Vladimir Grajic, my composer, knew him. And Charlie and I chatted in Messenger, and he asked me, what would you like the song to be about? I was like, I want it to be something empowering, because all my life I've been different because I've been overweight, and people find that is a problem for my career, for my health, for my looks, for my what, for my that, for my this. And I was like, oh, I don't care. And I never did. So that's how Beauty Never Lies happened. And before we sang it in Serbian, before we even written the song in Serbian, it was written in English. And I recorded it, and at one point there was a question, which language are we going to perform in? That was not my decision. I told them, just sit, listen to the song, in which language it carries the better message. For me, whatever you decide. So the team sat down and they were like, okay, we have a performer who has good English. The song in English sounds, the message is much stronger, better, and it can be heard and understood wider. So that was the team decision, not only mine, but that's how I made history. I was the first representative ever since Yugoslavia and now Serbia who performed in English. And after me, a lot of things changed, even in Serbia. Now you can participate even in the national selection with some English English parts of lyrics and whatever. Up until then, I think on your national selection, you could only sing in Serbian or your own language. And people from OGAE actually told me that, because I never, you are so full of information about Eurovision. If people only knew how interesting Eurovision is, it's not just the contest, it's everything, but That's why you're here. Yeah, yes, a lot. In Serbia, there was like, oh, what, who the hell does she think she is? But as my song is about empowering people, generally, I never cared. I just knew that I have that 3 minutes to shine, and I did my best to do so. And at one point, when I came to Vienna, you know, the moment when you're going out with your flag of your own country, that was the moment I thought, oh my God, this is serious. I'm representing a whole country. I need to be careful of what I'm doing. So that was the point when I realized that I'm at Eurovision. Well, the first impression when we got to the airport was like whole city was in the Eurovision spirit. Everything was everywhere. 12 points, 12 points, the gardens, the chandeliers, everything, the streets, the taxis, the buses, everything was like Vienna was breathing Eurovision. And that was the first impression. And then, of course, the venue itself, the first rehearsals, everything. First few days, you have rehearsals. You're there, here. You have a very, very tight schedule. And it was a bit panicky for me because I had a lot to do. The day, one day is quite short when you're on Eurovision. The first few days and up until the semifinals, and when they announced us that we were going to the finals, those few days to the finals were a bit more relaxed because now we already did the rehearsals, we already know what we're doing, we're just waiting for the big rehearsal for the finals. But those first few days, actually, I always say in interviews in Serbia, when they ask me, would you go again? I said, I would, but what would you change? I wouldn't change a thing except my perception. And I would try to have much more fun now. Back then, I was a good soldier. I was like, okay, go there, go there. You have makeup, you have hair, you have this, you have that, you have. I was like, okay, 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 yes, thank you. But now I would be so much more relaxed. I would be like, okay, let's have some fun. Oh my God, that was, you know, you're standing on the stage and you have like countdown, laser beaming or counting the 30 seconds that audience at their home while watching the like some postcard or something, and you're standing and watching that 29, 28, 27. And at one point, when it comes to the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, it's like, you know that you're like live. And in semifinals, I always say that story. At the rehearsals, I heard my music good, everything was fine. But in the live transmission, Stadthalle was full and people were screaming. And my song starts with heartbeats and bells and something like that. And when the countdown is going down, it's like heartbeat, do-do, do-do. And I heard my song it started, but I cannot hear the key tone. And you even had that in the semifinals when I did "When a Shadowy World Lived a Dazzling Girl." At that point, I was so, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. Unaware of the light. I was so mad that I didn't start the song good. So by the end of the song, I was like, "Thank you, Europe. Thank you, Australia." I was like in the backstage. I was crying and laughing. We were driving in the golf cart to the green room. The audience was waving, and I was holding a towel like this, smiling. "Thank you. Thank you, thank you." And I was in green room. I want to cry. Please let me cry. No, you have to smile. Cameras, waving the banners and everything. And I was crying for like 15 minutes because that adrenaline that happens and everything that happens at that point when you're performing, you just need a few minutes to gather yourself. It is a good feeling, actually. From our choreographer, Milica Cerovic. She is an amazing Serbian choreographer. She works for our theaters, for musicals in Serbia, for all great stars and great shows, television shows, all the choreography. She really was amazing. She came up to that idea because we wanted to include any kind of diversity in the song. Not just if you're, I don't know, thin, fat, I don't know, whatever your decision in life is. So we wanted to include that. And I learned even different, and it's okay, but they told me when I'm holding a microphone and I was like, I want to show everything. I learned it. I learned the choreography because, you know, back then I was a bit bigger and I was so proud that I knew the choreography. Like, I'm having the choreography, but I couldn't perform it. So yeah, she did that. That was her idea. To be quite honest, at one point in the semifinals, I was like, okay, we're not going to the finals. Even though all the prognoses were the Serbia is wow. And when they announced us last, I was like, oh my God. Just for a second, I was like, no, not again. I wanted to go home. I had enough. But then, of course, everyone was so thrilled that we were going to the finals, and I was too. I didn't expect us to be in the first 10, to be quite honest, even though everybody around me was like, you're going to win, you're going to be like in first 5, in first 2, in first 3. At one point, doing my makeup before the final live show, I was like, please, everybody, stop with the comments, stop with everything. You are making me feel like nervous, and I want to go on stage and do what I do. Whatever happens, happens. Just please. Everybody around me. So that what happened, because I started crying. My makeup artist couldn't do my makeup. I was like, I'm so nervous. I'm so the responsibility. They're all expecting, like, please just let me sing the song. That's the truth. Well, after the Eurovision, I wanted to make a bigger career, but for some reasons, which I don't like to talk about, that didn't happen. Despite that, I decided to continue on doing music and stay in the music world and trying to do the things I love in music, have my band. I am first and foremost a blues, funk, soul singer, even though sometimes they are describing me as a jazz singer. I am a versatile singer in general, and I am trying to find myself which genre will be the best for me. So during that road that I took of finding myself, I found a band that I'm working with right now. We're working on our own songs. Maybe not a cup of tea for Eurovision audience because that is blues, funk, soul, but I think that there will be songs that people are going to find themselves in, because my band are first and foremost my family and friends, and they allowed me to be creative and to write my own lyrics the way I want to write them, even though if it's a simple song with a few words or a complicated one, just write. They always tell me, just write, and the right lyrics will come out. So that is the primary thing that I'm doing right now. The other project that I'm doing is rock opera, disco opera. I moved out of Belgrade for a while, and I'm doing my musical road with Novosadski, that is from Novi Sad in Serbia. That is a big band, big orchestra, which we're doing those operas with, and we're touring Italy, Croatia, Slovenia. We're planning a bigger tours, but the thing that happened to all of us at one point was the coronavirus, and the whole period of almost, I don't know, 2.5 years for artists, especially. Even when Corona finished, there was a lot of period of time where we couldn't perform because of the, you know, restrictions and everything. So during that period, I decided to do something on myself, to work on myself. So I decided to dedicate these years, I don't know if it was consciously or unconsciously, to myself, to find myself in my personal life, in my musical life, and these happenings, OGAE parties and everything that you organize, I always like to come and to respond because, as I say in Serbia, there are a lot of colleagues of mine that are like, "Oh, Eurovision! Oh my God! Why did you do that? Why did you?" And I'm like, whoever says anything bad or like snide about Eurovision and is from the music world is either jealous or doesn't have a single clue what he or she is talking about. I used to love Eurovision when I was a girl because of all the pretty dresses, lights, and everything, and songs and everything. And then something happened that I went to Eurovision. A year after Eurovision, I managed to look at my performance, and I called my sister and said, "Oh, sister, do you know that I was in Eurovision? I represented a country. Oh my God." Only a year after Eurovision, in 2016, I was like, I was in Eurovision. That was my point. Like, what did I do? But for me, I would do it again and again. And this audience, there's no better audience. I don't know, American superstars have that kind of faithful audience as Eurovision participants and countries. That's a good question, because I'm thinking about it lately, to be quite honest, since as I mentioned, I started writing my own songs. I would like it to be, I would like to be something like just let everything go, breathe, laugh, have fun, live life, and start living in the, stop living in the past. Okay, it happened what happened, we lost dear people, we lost everything, but we who stayed here, we need to go on and be just like living life with the full lungs. So I know it's hard. I know every day is a struggle for me, especially in the past 2 years, because I decided to get my health in order. I never minded that I was a big girl, but at one point, I turned 31, 33, 33 years old. It started to impact me, and I couldn't do things that I wanted to do that I could do when I was a bit younger. So I decided that. And when I decided that, first of all, I wanted to do the operation of the stomach. But then I discovered Jim, a guy named Jim, and a lot of his friends, personal coaches and trainers, and I changed my life. And as I did so, and my physical changed, with the physical activity, something happened in my head. I changed a lot, and my family and my friends, they're noticing that. Sometimes they're noticing it more than I, and that's why they're asking me. That's why when I think about Eurovision and maybe a song for Eurovision next song, I would like it to be something more organic like sound-wise, because I noticed that there's a lot of electronic samples and everything. It's so like, I would like to be a bit more organic, and I would like to come with my band, maybe not blues, funk, but something like that, like uplifting, something uplifting. Oh, there's a lot. Tonight I'm performing Tai Chi and Hajde Da Ludujemo de noche. Maybe one of my favorites of ex-Yugoslavia is that, because when I was a little girl, I was like 3 or 4 years old. When they asked me, "What's your name?" I would like say Tai Chi. So I was Tai Chi. But I like a lot of songs. Extra Nena's, there was Extra Nena's song, which is a beautiful white ballad. And of course, I like Baby Doll. Brazil, España, Colombia, Cuba y America. Unfortunately, that was the worst time for our country. Unfortunately, but that's how I remember it. I remember something sparkly, something very, I was a little girl back then. And since we are Serbia, of course, first impact was when we returned to Eurovision with La Nemuje ovih dana. That was like, I'm getting chills right now. It was like, we're second. That was so good, but I must say, if I had to choose it's not, it's molitva. Because it's not that it won. I remember when we appeared, the first appearance in Eurovision, I was like, if we don't win, I don't know what the prognoses are. And remember that though that was not the time of this digital social media and everything. It was a bit more organic. Because she was so honest, so firm. The performance was so to the point, very simple. The focus was on the singer, and I am a singer. If I had anything else to offer, maybe I would sing less, but I am a singer. That's why, for me, Molitva is of the Serbian songs. Do you have a time? Because I have a list. If I should choose one, well, okay, I'll give you two. Old school, most definitely, ABBA and Waterloo. Of all times, it's like, Waterloo, I was defeated, you won the war. It was so beautiful. But for me, Euphoria of the 20, I don't know, 2000 plus, Euphoria is like my cup of tea. Maybe Tattoo is not as much, but Euphoria is my number one, if you ask me. You are the best part. Oh my God, I'm not gonna cry. The moment when you see the mass in front of you, singing your song as one, and that is just one song that was created especially for that contest, and the audience knows it. You, the best thing, definitely. Oh, I'm looking forward more than you. Thank you.